going to show you how to add your product for sale on Amazon and how to create your entire Amazon listing, including the title, the main image, all the side images, the bullet points, the description, all the things that you need in this one video. The first step to adding your product on Amazon and creating an Amazon listing is to log into your Amazon Seller Central account. Once you've done that, you're going to click on the three little lines up here and you're going to go to Catalog, Add Products. Now, depending on what kind of product you're adding for sale on Amazon, there are a couple different options. For instance, if you're selling an existing product, a product that already has a listing on Amazon, for instance, let's say that you wanted to, I don't know, buy a product wholesale or buy a product retail arbitrage. Let's look at, I think there's one called Green Grass Powder. Amazing Greens Grass, that's the name of it. You'd click here and you'd click on copy listing and you'd basically say that you want to sell that product. Let's say you bought that product in bulk, or maybe you got that as a gift and you just want to list it for sale on Amazon. That's how you would do that. Now, however, we're creating our own unique product. That's something I always teach people is when you're selling on Amazon, the way to make the most money selling on Amazon is not to do retail arbitrage. It's not to do wholesale. Like those are okay methods, but if you want to make a ton of money, you want to create what I call is a passion product. A product that you're actually passionate about, where you can do private labels. So private labels where you take an existing product, you slap your brand on it, you slap your label on it, and you sell it on Amazon. But what I recommend doing is trying to improve the product in some way. And I mean, look at, this is one of my products, Carnivore Jerky, and I'll show you guys how I created this later. It's not a revolutionary product. There's a lot of beef jerky out there, but what we did is we branded it for the carnivore diet specifically. And if you type in carnivore jerky, our product's the #1 product that shows up. We get a ton of sales around this because a lot of people are doing this carnivore diet. So when you are adding a new product onto Amazon, creating a new listing, you're gonna click on this blank form and you're gonna click on the start button. Then we're gonna put the item name. And this is gonna be the title of what you want the product listing to be. So like when item name here, that's the item name. And what I would recommend, if you've never created an Amazon listing before, if you don't know what you're doing, I'll walk you guys through later in this video how to create it on your own. But let me show you guys my secret, FBAcreatives.com. This is the way to go. They will create your entire listing for you. They'll create the branding, they'll create everything. If you go into services, they have the premium package here, or we can even just, if you already have your branding and you already have your packaging, then you can just go with the a la carte option. Let's say the listing package. And I have a discount code I'll put in the link down below in the description as well. But with this service, they're gonna do the listing title, the bullet points, the product images, the 3D render. They do everything for you. And I'll show you guys what that process looks like. In fact, they'll send you a document like this. So they already did the title for me. And to be fair, this FBA Creatives, it's a company, I'm a partner in this company, I'm one of the owners. So a lot of times before we send this out to clients, I'll look over it. So I'm gonna look over this title and I'm gonna maybe make some changes, but I'm gonna copy that and we're gonna paste it here. Boom, just like that, we already have our title. So then it's searching and then it says tea. Examples include herbal tea, confirm. And then it has what the category is here. It's automatically filled this in for us. We can always change this by clicking on the drop down, but that's correct. It's an herbal tea. So that's perfect. The product does not have variations. So variations would be different flavors. And let me show you an example of a product that would have variation. Yeah, so we have a lemon flavor and an unflavored. That's what variation means. For this product that I'm showing you today, this Clove Tea, we do not have variations. And again, for anyone that's just tuning in, this Clove Tea, this is a product that I've created over the last 4 days. This is like a brand new product. So brand name, we're gonna put Clove Tea. External product ID is a UPC code. So I got a UPC code for this and I'm gonna copy that and put it in here. So in order to get a UPC code, you can go to gs1.org. I'll put a link down below in the description. And if you need help with that, contact me, Travis@passionproductformula.com. That's actually another service that I've been considering getting into is helping people getting barcodes. So if you do need help with your barcode, email me, Travis@passionproductformula.com. But it's not that hard to get a GS1 barcode. You don't really need my help, but if you want it, I'm happy to do it. It's gonna cost you like 30 bucks with gs1.org. It'll cost you more if you go a third party. It could cost $100, $200. So let's click on Get Barcodes. You're gonna click Get Barcode GTI in here. and you're gonna have to fill out some information. You're gonna have to get an account. You're gonna have to do, it does take a little bit of work. So, all right, so at this point, we're going to upload our images. Let me show you the process of this. So this is what the image is going to look like for Clove water. This is a sticker that's going to go on the packaging, but I'm just going to upload this for now. Ultimately, you want to have a lot more than just that one image. Let me see if I can show you an example of what this is going to look like eventually. So I'll use as an example carnivore electrolytes, or no, I'll use carnivore jerky because that's a good one. So under images, so that's the main image we have here, and it's a 3D render. Again, if you want to get a 3D render of your product, you can use FBA creatives. You can also get photos, but most of the people nowadays use 3D renders. And then you can see here's all the other images, and these images, the goal is to sell the benefits of the product. So you'll see this on the side. So we have the nutrition facts. We have this here, pure and bold flavor. Enjoy the true taste of beef with no added sweeteners, just rich natural goodness in every bite. Yeah. Basically, we're just trying to sell why people should buy our product. Grass-fed beef, beef bone broth, sea salt. That's it. That's all the ingredients. So for this product right now, I only have this one image. That's fine. For the product description, and again, FBA Creatives already gave us the bullet points and the product description. So for now, the product description is pretty simple. And then for the bullet points, this is something I've noticed. I always like to have the keyword in the bullet point that we're trying to target. So the number one keyword that we're trying to target here is Clove Tea. And we can put 100% Clove Tea, I think would be way better. And the reason why we always want to have keywords in the title in the bullet points is because Amazon is a search engine and people type into Amazon what they're looking to buy. So in this case, it would be Clove Tea. And the thing that they type into the search engine, that is the key, those are the keywords. So Clove Tea is the number one thing that people are gonna put in here in order to find our product. And we wanna make sure that Amazon knows that our product is Clove Tea. And so once we have Clove Tea in the title, in the bullet points, Amazon's gonna be like, well, obviously when people type in Clove Tea, we should show them this product. So let's copy this over. And I'm gonna show you how to figure out which keywords you should have in your title, in your description later in this video. There's a tool that you can use that'll make this entire process very easy. So bullet point, boom. And then we're gonna click on add more. And we're gonna continue adding bullet points. And if you haven't yet liked this video, make sure to smash the like button because nobody's doing this. Nobody's actually showing you every single step of creating an Amazon FBA business. So from here, we're gonna go into product details. All right, manufacturer, we're gonna put Clove Tea. Number of items, we could say 14 tea bags because there's 14 tea bags per pouch. No special ingredients. Clove. All right, the rest of the stuff is optional. Serving quantity unit. Yeah, we can put 14. We'll do that, portions. Flavor, clove. Okay, so offer. So quantity, this is how many units we have. I think we're gonna have like 20, let's say, because we're gonna make at least 20 pouches. We might do more, we can always update this later. Price, so in order to figure out the price, a lot of times you're gonna look at your cost, you're also gonna look for examples of what else is being sold. I'm just gonna put, you know what, I'm gonna put, yeah, $19.99 for now. Actually 24, yeah, $19.99 for now. Item condition, new, of course. Listing price. Now here's something important, fulfillment channel. I will ship this item myself or Amazon will ship and provide customer service. So for this one, right now, we're gonna do, I'll ship this item myself, but in the future, we're gonna have Amazon ship this. So this is the difference between FBM and FBA. With FBM, it's called fulfilled by merchant. I am the merchant, I am the one selling the goods, and I'm gonna be handling the fulfillment. The fulfillment means when someone places an order on Amazon for my product, I'm actually going to pick, pack, and ship the product myself. Meaning I'm gonna package it up, I'm gonna pay for shipping, I'm gonna go to FedEx or UPS or the post office, pay for shipping, I'm gonna have the post office come and pick it up, or I'm gonna drop it off at the post office. I'm gonna handle all that. Now, this is what's really cool about selling on Amazon. They have a service called FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon, and with this, I can send all the units, let's say 100, 1,000, 500,000, whatever the number is. I can send all the units that I want to sell on Amazon to the Amazon warehouse. And then from there, every time I get a sale, Amazon's shipping it out. Let's say I get a sale in Texas, Amazon's shipping it out. I get one in New Orleans, I get New York, wherever. Let's say I'm getting 100 sales a day. I don't need to do anything. Amazon's handling all that for me. Now, if you do FBM, it's a good way to get started quickly. The only way I'm able to launch this business in 7 days is because we're gonna start with FBM. Otherwise, it takes a few weeks in order for you to ship your product into the Amazon warehouse. It takes time to wait. There's some process there. So we're gonna do FBM for now, but very soon we're gonna switch over to FBA. Like once we can get some inventory in the fulfillment center, then we will switch over. Item dimensions, we don't have to worry about that right now. Let's see here. We don't have to worry about any of this right now. Safety and compliance, country of origin, United States. Dangerous good regulations, not applicable. And boom, just like that, we're gonna hit submit. All listings on Amazon have to go through a 4-day mandatory review now. So we're not gonna be able to see our listing here, and we're not gonna be able to launch when I was hoping to launch, but that's okay. I'm gonna still walk you through the rest of the process. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it over in just a minute to Connor, and Connor's gonna show you how he's gonna create his listing for the pork rinds.
There's gonna be slightly different ways to approach the listing, and there's just gonna be different things to fill out on the listing itself. There's gonna be different positioning as well for each product, and that's why it's important to really have your customer avatar in mind when you're creating not only the listing bullets and title and everything that goes in it, but also the listing images. And think about your customer avatar and creating a product that's ideal for them. Again, people cannot try your product before they buy it. They can only see it. So it's really important that you make your listing look as good as possible, because that's what's going to convey whether you have a good product or not. Plus the reviews, of course, in your listing as well. So in order to do this, we're going to go over to our Amazon seller account, and we're going to go ahead and click this add product button right here. Now, alongside this, we want to use a little tool from Helium 10 that's going to be one of our best friends while going through this process, and I'll be going through this live with you so you can see this right in action. We're going to get logged into Helium 10 so that we can use this tool. And if you guys aren't subscribed on Helium 10 yet, make sure to go ahead and use this code. If you go to travismarziani.com/Helium10, this should be the link, and this should take you there to basically what's the best discount code available on the internet, 35% off. You can get started and follow along. Helium 10 is the tool we'll use to find the keywords and validate the product ideas. So if you remember, when we were looking on the Magnet tool and we were looking on the carnivore diet, we discovered those keywords that looked great for pork rinds ground pork rinds, carnivore breadcrumbs, things like this that are basically become the target product. So if we search this again, we'll look up ground pork rinds again. Ground pork rinds. What we can do is we can make a folder on Helium 10 that includes all of the related keywords that we think are great keywords to target. So this one is definitely one for sure. We'll make sure to add this. Let's go ahead and add our filter in, because I don't really care to see anything that's got a search volume of below 150, as that's just going to be too small to worry about. Let's see if we can find, we're also going to add in a phrase containing ground for now, and then we want to go ahead and add some more ground pork rind crumbs. That's an important one. Ground pork rinds. These two are really good. Ground pork. These are all not related, but we can hit this button that says add to list. And we'll go ahead and create a new folder, and we'll call this carnivore bread crumbs to identify our product right here as the ground pork rinds. So then we can go ahead right in here and add these keywords. And let's see if we can add a couple more keywords. Let's look up crumbs again and see pork breadcrumbs. That's what we're looking for. Pork rinds. We're getting some good ones right here. So we're going to keep selecting all the keywords that we think are relevant. We're looking for Magnet IQ scores that are at least 3 times the search volume. The CPR is showing you how many sales you need in an 8-day period in order to rank for each one of these keywords. So if it says 8, you only need 1 sale a day to rank for this keyword. But the other thing we're going to need to rank for these keywords is to make these keywords be present and prominent in our listing and our title and all the elements that we'll go over in a second. So that's why it's really important that we identify what are our target keywords and how easy are they going to be to rank for. For instance, these keywords will only require 8 sales in 8 days, so 1 sale a day. However, this keyword right here requires 26 sales in 8 days. So what is 26 sales? You'll need a little bit over 3 sales a day in order to rank for this one. So that's a little bit more difficult. So I'm glad we have these other keywords that we can rank for in the meantime. And it looks like there's actually a large number of keywords, so we're going to keep going here to make sure we add all of them. I really recommend spending a good amount of time figuring out when you're doing your listing, what are all your keywords? And when we talk about keywords, you have 2 or sometimes even 3 sections of keywords you're thinking about. The first section of keywords are the keywords that you know you can rank for. For instance, if I see this search volume, this Magnet IQ score, this is a Magnet IQ score 5 times above the search volume, and it only has a CPR of 8. This shows us that it's relatively uncompetitive, and we can easily rank for this. This is our safety keyword because we know worst case, we could rank for this. Whereas something that's got more of a search volume, but a higher CPR, and less of a ratio in the Magnet IQ score to the search volume, this is a harder keyword to rank for. So this is more of a goal keyword. So it's good to have your safety keywords that you know that you can rank for. The safety keywords let you know that your listing will be all right if you hit a certain number and you don't have to try to get 100 sales in your first week or anything like that. And you can build as the momentum goes up. Let's add just a couple more keywords. I do recommend taking your time to do this if you are doing this for real, because this is one of the most important steps of your listing. Adding the actual keywords in and making sure they're prominent. So let's go ahead and add them all to this folder. So we have all these keywords on here. The next thing we can do in Helium 10 is go over to this, actually there's a couple things, but one of the big ones here is the listing builder, which is now optimized with AI. So what we'll be able to do in a second, once we get the listing set up, is we can hit create from scratch and we can enter in the product's ASIN. We'll go ahead and get this set up so that we can start building in a second. But basically, we can go in here and we can select our folder that we just created within Helium 10. And we'll go ahead and press this button that says add to bank right here, and it will add in all these keywords, and then we'll go over to next. We can type in some product characteristics, and I actually have them listed out over here that I will copy and paste in to show you guys exactly how this works. This is our product characteristics. This is a lot of detail right here. We'll do this, but we'll actually ask this to write it for me as well. Let's see, acknowledge and get started. And basically what this is going to help you do is it's going to help you check off each one of these keywords to make sure that you are including that keyword prominently enough in your listing to rank for it. So you have a couple opportunities to get keywords relevancy onto your listing. The first opportunity is the title. This is the first thing that most people will see. So it's really important we have the main keyword right in the front right here. This will ensure that not only is Amazon behind the scenes going to see that your product is relevant, but customers are going to see that it's relevant too. When a customer sees this, they're going to know, or a potential customer, they're going to know that this product is for them. Then we want to make sure that all these other keywords start to get hit. It's okay if you don't hit all of them in the title, but we want to make sure that we hit them all throughout. In fact, we might even consider hitting our bigger keyword right here and go ground pork rind crumbs right here so that we can hit this top keyword, which is a little bit bigger of a search volume and might be a better prominent keyword. Again, we want to keep in mind, again, when we're talking about those safety and those goal and those reach keywords, right? Those reach keywords, we might not want to go all in on it first. We might want to build up that base with those smaller keywords so that we can make sure this listing can get the momentum going. We can go through each one of these and we can even hit this write it for me, where Helium 10 will use AI to write the bullets for you and make sure that you're hitting all your keywords that you need to reach right here. There we go, zero carb light. I think it did a really great job. We can hit use suggestion and we can keep going down here. It actually wrote all of them, all with AI, so easy. And this is the power of Helium 10. Helium 10 will make sure that you are creating a listing that actually reaches those target keywords. It will help, first off, validate the ideas, validate that people are actually searching for the product, validate that it's not too competitive. But again, it will also help you build your listing and make sure that you're actually building a listing that targets those keywords that you originally identified. So Helium 10 really is your best friend. Again, I know some people are like, I don't want to spend that money. It's such a small amount of money to spend for the value you get on it. If you're going to invest the time in purchasing a run of inventory for a product, if you're going to invest the time in doing a run on Amazon, it makes sense to not dive into this in the dark and have a tool that's going to be one of the best things you can have at your disposal. Give a brief summary about your product. We can say, ground pork rinds. I don't know why the write it for me button's not here. Maybe we need to add keywords in order to enable this, but we can keep going through here. And in fact, I've already ran this through. So, but just to show you guys how it works, you keep going through here. Amazon Post is a new feature. We won't talk too much about that because that's getting a little bit more advanced, but it is really important that we have generic keywords. We'll get there in a second. We'll have a description and we have bullet points. and that we have our product title. Those are the opportunities that you have to make sure that your product is showing up for as many keywords as possible. Let's go back over to our Amazon over here because we're going to start to fill this out. Now, as this product isn't already on Amazon, we'll just go by list by product ID. We're gonna grab our UPC code that we get from GS1. Now, GS1 is the place to buy barcodes for your products, where you can get a UPC, otherwise known as a universal product code. Universal product codes are the barcodes that you find in most any product that you see, where you can scan it and the computer system will know what that product is. This is the only official source for barcodes, so I recommend when you're getting your barcode, always get them from GS1. They're $30, or you can buy them in bulk for a discount if you have many variations or something like that. But for most people, you're probably just gonna buy one barcode and you'll receive it over email very shortly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that barcode, and we're gonna go ahead and enter in this code that I have pulled up over here from the GS1 email. Your code will look something like this. Usually it starts in the number 1 followed by a sequence of digits. And because we're listing this product for the very first time, when we hit submit here, Amazon is going to tell us that there is no other matches so far. And this is correct. We are creating this listing. This is our own product, so there shouldn't be anything. If there was a match, that would probably mean there's a mistake. Now again, we'll go back over to Helium 10 and we can copy that title it gave us and paste it in here. Now we did this earlier, so we're gonna go ahead and paste that title that Helium 10 gave us based on our target keywords. And in fact, we just made that slight little change and we've added in the word crumbs to make sure we target all of our keywords. And Amazon will try to, by default, give you a product type based on what the title of your product is. And we just wanna go ahead and check that this is correct because it's not always going to be correct. Sometimes Amazon will make mistakes here and you can always select other. But looking at this right now, breadcrumbs and stuffing, panko, this does look correct, although it isn't technically a breadcrumb, it's a breadcrumb alternative. So this is the best category for us here. Now let's go ahead and hit confirm. And we're going ahead and add a brand name. Now the brand name we'll be using right here is Peak Primal. We're able to go ahead and select it because we have brand registry already set up. Now brand registry is a function that you can get within Amazon if you upload a trademark. You need a trademark in order to get brand registry, but it will allow you to put a brand name here easily. It will allow you to get A+ content uploaded. It will allow you to protect your brand and enforce it. If someone tries to use your brand name on Amazon, you're able to enforce it and take it down, and all you need is a trademark. Now you can register a trademark for around $300 yourself. That's the way I recommend doing it rather than getting a lawyer. I would recommend we have a video on YouTube where we'll break down how you can get a trademark. Now you do not need a trademark. You can save money by not getting a trademark. However, I think brand registry is really, really worth it. And there's a lot of cool features with that. And you'll get it even when your trademark is pending. So you can get that form right away from the trademark office, the USTPO office, and they'll give you your pending trademark number, and you can use that with brand registry before your trademark even gets approved. So pretty cool. This code we entered here is a UPC, so we want to go ahead and select that. The other thing about the brand name to keep in mind, you can still use a brand name without brand registry, but Amazon will require a couple things. The first thing is the brand name here needs to match up with the brand name that you registered the barcode for on GS1. If there's a mismatch, it will not let you proceed. The second thing you'll need to do is you need to upload a picture of your product where the brand name is prominently displayed on the product itself. This is required because we have brand registry and we have a trademark for Peak Primal. We don't have to worry about that. But if we did not, we would have to go through that step right here. Let's go ahead and press next now. Now we will enter in the product description. Again, we used our help from Helium 10 and the Listing Builder AI tool to create this and make sure we're fitting in all of our keywords. Looks great. Now we're gonna go through and do the bullets. Again, Helium 10 has helped us create the bullets over here based on our keywords, but we also want to make sure that we're hitting all the prominent parts about our product. For instance, something that they did not hit up on here that I want to make sure is a bullet is that our product is made 100% in the USA. That's really important, and our customers really care about that. And that's something that the AI itself, because it's so keyword focused, it didn't get. So beyond keywords, you should also use the bullets to make sure that you're showcasing all the great features about your product. So let's go bullet by bullet and add these. Another thing is Amazon technically tells you to not use emojis and to not use things in all caps. However, you can usually get away with it, and it often makes your bullets stand out. Sometimes Amazon will come in here and they'll tell you, hey, you got to take that down. You're breaking the terms, but there's certain things that are technically Amazon terms that everybody gets around, and one of those things is doing the first part of your bullets in all caps. And usually this is the format, like you see right here. Do the first part in all caps, and then expand upon it with a little paragraph. This is the standard bullet system that most people employ on Amazon. Again, not everyone does the caps, but I like it. I think it looks good, and I think it helps the two parts stand out between each other. Next, we will go on here and we will upload our images. We get our images done from FBA Creatives. FBA Creatives is the #1 spot to go for getting your graphics for your Amazon label, for your listing. Everything regards to selling on Amazon, their graphics team specializes in doing design for Amazon specifically, what converts with Amazon, what works. And so instead of working with a designer for Fiverr or one of these other platforms, you're working with designers that are completely optimized for what they're doing. And I think they actually came up with some great listing images in this case. If you guys want to use FBA Creatives, you can use code Travis to get 40% off your next order. Let's go back here and we're gonna go ahead and upload these images so you guys can see what we're talking about here and see these great images that we got from FBA Creatives. Now, one of the things about the product as well in your listing image is technically you aren't supposed to show anything that's not actually part of the product. But you can usually get away with this as long as it's not the main image. The main image on Amazon needs to be the product with a white background. It's supposed to be a photo, but everyone basically does 3D mockups to make it look as good as possible. As in, this is a 3D mockup right here, and we'll get away with using this just fine. Then we can see all the listing images. We have something that has the nutritional facts on it. We have that made in the US stamp as well as carnivore friendly. And we emphasize all the big things about our product and show it in action a little bit. What is the use case? We can see it on this product. And technically speaking, Amazon in their terms would be like, hey, your product doesn't contain chicken or whatever this meat is. You can't show that, but everybody does it and everybody gets around it. So now that you see these images, let's go ahead and upload. There we go. We got all these images uploaded right here. And now we can see that we have some more tabs that have popped up on the top. So let's go over to product details and start filling in some information. So with all this filled out, wait for the submit button to become blue. Make sure there's nothing that's red that demands our attention, and we can go ahead and press the submit button. Thanks for submitting your listing. If approved, changes will be reflected in 24 hours. Now, as mentioned, Amazon has a new policy where now all listings that get registered are now subject to a 4-day mandatory review period. So it's going to take a minute for this product to actually show up in our inventory, but we'll see what it says. Oh, actually, Clove Tea is live now. That's great. Okay, so looks like they bypass. Sometimes they'll get caught in this. Sometimes they'll just like get thrown through, but it looks like Clove Tea is good. So this is good to know because we'll be able to move forward with the launch. Now, typically how this goes is we will need to wait just about no more than 15 minutes for it to actually show up here. And we'll see whether it is inactive and still going through that review process or whether they've approved it for use right away. If they've approved it for use right away, we can move forward with actually sending in inventory into Amazon.